everybody. Welcome again to MOOC Indonesia 101. Welcome to Unit 5, which is about Islam in Contemporary Indonesia. In the previous unit, in Unit 4, we were focusing on the spreading of Islam in the archipelago. In this unit, we are going to specifically focus on the practices of Islam in contemporary Indonesia. Okay, so we would like to start from the first slide. Okay, since its conception, the unitary state of Indonesia, or the Republic of Indonesia, as it has been called in Bahasa Indonesia, was meant to be plural and tolerant of diversity. As it has been discussed in the previous units, the omission of verse that refer to the obligation of Muslims to adhere to Islamic teachings in the Pancasila draft, as well as the notion of Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, attest this moderation. Islam, as the major religion in Indonesia, has shown practices that can be called as moderate expression of Islam. There are varied definitions of moderate Islam. In general, it means the middle path, a position that is in the middle of two extreme poles. In Indonesian context, however, the concept of moderatism indicates religious thoughts or practices that adopt neither the typically Western liberal thoughts and radical Islamism thought. Okay, Western liberal thoughts commonly separate religion and the state. This means that anything related to public and political affairs should not be based on religious principles. Rather, they are supposed to be based on the optimization of humans' liberal and rational thoughts. This practice is generally called secularism. The separation of religious and public spheres can be seen, for instance, in the prohibition of the display of religious symbols in public institutions, such as schools and offices. Meanwhile, radical Islamism thoughts are associated with the ideas which envision the application of Islamic laws rigidly in public affairs. This group is sometimes referred to as the literalists. Moderate Muslims form the biggest proportion of Indonesian Muslims. They are happily identified as moderate Muslims. For them, Islam should be kept in private domain. Although they are devout Muslims, they tend to disagree with the idea of making Islamic laws as the legal basis of the state. In spite of the fact that Islamic values such as ikhlas, which means willingness to accept one's fate, and sabar, which means patience, have been important markers of Indonesian cultural values, the application or the literal application of Islamic laws in public life is not widely accepted. In the context of global politics, the concept of Islamic moderatism may refer to the Muslim groups who do not react fervently to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, as well as the occupation of Afghanistan and Iraq by multinational forces. Moderate Muslims are those who do not react overwhelmingly to the international conflict involving the majority of Muslim countries on one side and the West on the other side. Two exemplary models of Islamic moderatism in Indonesia are NU, or Nahdlatul Ulama, and Muhammadiyah, which are the two biggest Islamic mass organizations in Indonesia. NU is popularly known as the traditionalist. Its followers are mainly from the grassroots Muslims living in suburban areas. Muhammadiyah, meanwhile, is popularly known as the modernist. Its members are mostly in urban areas. These two organizations can be classified as moderate due to their non-violent theological standpoint. They generally agree with the idea of the unified state of the Republic of Indonesia, NKRI, For them, the NKRI with Pancasila as its ideological basis and UUD 1945 as its constitutional basis and Bhinneka Tunggal Ika as its slogan are considered to be able to accommodate the substantive elements of moderate Islam, which has theological vision named Rahmatan lil Alamin, which means blessing for all the universe. When it comes to modern and Western values, such as democracy and human rights, these two organizations do not show resistance. The principle of democracy is seen not only workable in Western developed countries, but also can be found in Quran and Hadith, the two main sources of Islamic teachings. For NU and Muhammadiyah, Islam itself is democratic. Thus, there is no point of rejecting this modern value. The success of Islam in abolishing slavery in the past is a testament to its democratic principle. Okay, so that's the ending of Unit 5. If you want to read more about the moderate Islamic practices in Indonesia, you could read the article by Masdar Hilmi, as you can find on the slide. Thank you and see you on the next unit. Bye.